So one of the other things that I wanted to talk about today, Andre, and because it's kind of a buzzword, I mean, if you look on the internet, you look in the marketing forums, and you look in the Facebook groups, everyone's talking about ChatGPT. Do you know what ChatGPT is? It's only been talked about for a couple weeks, but you know what it is?
Yeah, it's a artificial intelligence type of bot, right? Like, and it can basically make anything for you type of situation. So you can ask a question in this website, which is ChatGPT, or I don't know which one it is, but it tells you basically an automated response. But I don't know how it actually works, like how it actually works, right? But basically, the computer is giving you the answers to anything that you want to ask it.
Yeah, and I've messed around with it a little bit, and I'm not smart enough to understand how this whole thing works. But basically, the idea that I'm gathering here is that there's basically fed this a bunch of data and a bunch of things from the internet. Let's just say whether it's books, whether it's articles, and they feed it all, and then you can just take this database of information and whatever AI or algorithms they use to analyze it and ask questions and get a result. For example, one thing that I messed around with it is I was like, asking it to give me hooks for like TikTok and stuff like that. I was like, hey, can you give me 30 hooks that might attract people who want to start an affiliate marketing business? Because obviously we are both in that niche where we help other people start affiliate marketing. And it spit out in like seconds or milliseconds 30 hooks that to me seemed like they would work. You know what I mean? Have you played around with it at all, or?
Yeah, I was asking a couple questions, even in Spanish, and the computer will tell me the answer in Spanish. Like, it's just unbelievable how it works. And it's funny how it's artificial intelligence, right? Like, I'm sure it's learning on its own. People are giving feedback, and the computer is just programmed in a way that it's just gonna learn to be better. And then eventually it's probably gonna have its own mind, and it's gonna just tell whatever it thinks, basically.
I know.
And
Because
you know what's
that's
crazy?
Go
We
ahead.
I just went on a date with my wife, and we went to see a movie called Megan, and it's literally about, I don't know if you seen it, but it's about
Uh,
a toy company that they create a toy. Yeah,
uh,
it looks like a doll, like a little girl. So they gave this little girl artificial intelligence, and she was paired up with an actual child. So basically, she started learning so much on her own, the toy, and then eventually it just became evil because she saw the bad in the world, and she saw she needed to protect the little girl. But just so crazy how he was just thinking on his own, and he was programmed to learn and be better every single time. So eventually, the computer just became really bad. Just
right.
evil, basically.
But bad to protect the girl or bad against the girl?
So the whole thing was for her to be the actual child's best friend and to protect her with any dangers that the world has.
Right.
But then when the robot starts realizing that there is actually a lot of danger. So let's say there was an instance in the movie where a dog was barking and the dog bit the real child.
Hmm.
Well, the robot started thinking about it, and then the next day the robot ended up killing the dog.
No
Type
way.
of situation. Yeah. So you should go watch the movie.
Oh.
It's kind of scary. It's scary.
You wonder too because obviously there's a lot of people who believe that AI has the potential to change the future for good, but then there's also a lot of people that believe that AI, artificial intelligence, has the potential to change the future for the bad. You know what I mean? Like the robots will rise up and take us out. But it's interesting that the premise of this movie, and obviously this is just some screenwriter's vision of what might potentially happen, but the premise is that there is a connection, to let's say one person, in this case the daughter or the girl, the owner of the doll, and the AI of the robot, the artificial intelligence of the doll, will look out into the world and decide, hey, I have to protect this thing. And that's kind of what we've talked about in the past multiple times on this podcast, how we as folks or individuals or people who have gone out and started these businesses from scratch, we all talk about how we not only did this for ourselves, but we did this for our families. And this is a common pattern that we've seen with other guests as well, where they're like, yeah, I had to do this for so-and-so. And it's just interesting how maybe we as human creatures are designed to protect the few against the many. Right? You know what I mean? So what happens if that's what artificial intelligence will learn then? I mean, that's just a concept that's too hard to even think about, right?
Yeah, I mean, it just reminds me of other movies like I, Robot, right, where the robots started becoming their own self, right? They started just doing their own thing, what they were thinking, right? And that's it's just scary to me, honestly. Like computers and robots and artificial intelligence, it's just I know that's where the route that we as human beings are gonna go to. But to me, it's just like I don't know. I feel like I'm old school, like I want to be the one learning in like a hands-on type of thing, step by
Right.
step type of thing. So it's I don't know. We'll see how it goes.
That's the thing you can't predict. Now that I think that's one thing you said that was really interesting is we talk about ChatGPT, and we talk about maybe this is taking a database of all the written text on the internet. Let's just say, because if you ask it to write, I also had it write a script for an ad, right? Like I said, hey, write me a script for an ad that might attract someone who might want to buy an affiliate marketing course, and it spit out in milliseconds a script that was pretty good. It was, I would say, kind of generic. If you were to go, if you were to use like copywriting strategy, like best practices copywriting strategy, and write a script, I mean, it pretty much followed that. You know what I mean? What really surprised me is although it was somewhat generic, there were no errors. Like I didn't read through it and say that doesn't make sense. You would expect some sort of error to come in when it's artificial intelligence. That's what surprised me more than anything is like, okay, well, this is somewhat basic. This is somewhat generic copy. There are no errors, no mistakes. Like this flows. This makes sense based on what you would expect to work. So what gets really interesting is when it can, if it's already to that point, what gets really interesting is when it starts testing it against human use cases, like you said. Once it starts throwing this copy out into the world or this information out into the world, and then it starts seeing how people react to it and then adjusting, that's, I think, when it gets crazy, huh?
But then what does it mean that though? Like does that mean that we don't have to learn the skills anymore, or and just use AI? You get me? Like where what's gonna happen to us? Are we just gonna be relying on that type of stuff?
Right.
You know? So it's like
And,
it gets you thinking.
it does, and maybe it gives you the opportunity to, maybe it gives you the opportunity to focus on the evolution of you, right? You know what I mean? Maybe work less on your, knowledge, book smarts, so to speak, and work more on your emotional intelligence. So maybe it will become a good thing.
Yeah. Or a really bad thing.
Or a really bad thing. One thing I always thought would be interesting, I've been in the, in the marketing space for quite a long time since 2012, and a big portion of my business has always been email marketing, right? Grow the list and then monetize the list, because that's obviously targeted traffic that you can reach on demand. And I always thought it'd be really cool if I ever got into software company, which I've been warned against it many times, so I don't think I'm ever going to go try to start a software company. Yeah, yeah. Here I am, right? I'll have software in next year. But anyways, I always thought it'd be really cool to leverage this, like, not always, but over the past like year and a half, I've been really focusing on, like, what if you could take AI or artificial intelligence or algorithms and create an autoresponder, right? An email autoresponder, where you just load in like 5 different products, and they could be physical products or digital products, and you load in, 100 emails. maybe 20 emails that sell each product. And then what if you could just like throw it in there and let the AI or the algorithms figure out, like, based on, the leads that you bring in, when's the best time to send an email, right? Because, it's not always like, hey, the best way to make money with your email list is, hey, send email A, send email B, send email C, send email D. What if you can actually make more money per lead by sending email B, email A, email D, email C, right? Because what happens in what order makes a big difference in how people choose to either buy or don't buy. So I always thought that would be cool. But now imagine if it goes a step further and you can not only have it like see which emails are sent, but what if it can like analyze the use cases in the feedback and then start writing its own emails? Like, to me, like, that's what's crazy, right? Like,
Yeah, I mean, it would that I think the goal is for it to test itself, like learn
right,
on its own type of thing. So if it sends an email, let's say they didn't get a bunch of open rates, then the next time this it only sends one email, with that, and then it learns
right,
from it like right away. It gets so much information just from what that one email that they send. So then the next time they send another email, they're not gonna send the same email. They're gonna make it better, and then they're
right.
gonna keep testing and then keep testing and then keep testing, and then eventually it's just gonna basically be your own autoresponder without you even making anything.
Right. And it can ask, I mean, ChatGPT has proven that it'll be able to ask questions and take feedback. Like if it can start polling your audience and your email list, hey, what do what kind of things do you need help with? And then take that response and then in almost real time, shoot an email back that's relevant, that helps, pre-frame them or even sell a product. Like, think about the potential of that. Because what happens, like, people send a question via email, and you probably do this. I might get back to them within an hour if it's lucky, or I might get back to them the next day if they send a question at like 9 o'clock at night, right? Because it's all human based. Imagine if you had a chat GPT or AI that could immediately filter their
Respond.
question and respond better than just like, hey, is this the best question to your answer? Like somebody chatted,
And even when it learns the response, or when it sends out the response, then it's gonna be programmed on its own that nobody else will ask the same question again, type of thing.
Exactly, because it will know that this is the question that's going to be asked, so it can preemptively answer that question, and that's why I say, like, if you can get inside the head or inside the conversation that's already going on inside the head of your prospect, like, think about that. What if you can answer all their questions before they even have a time to shoot them into you? You're going to win the marketing game. It doesn't matter what you're selling. It doesn't matter if you're selling tennis rackets or affiliate marketing courses or anything in between. It doesn't matter what you're selling. If you can make people feel that understood, I mean, you're going to win the game. And what's going to happen? The first thing that's going to happen is advertising, right? If you can take an email list, and at least this is just my opinion, if you can take an email list, right? Let's say you can generate a lead for $5 a lead. And let's say right now you've got an email autoresponder that pays you back $10 per lead, right? That's a pretty good business. For every $5 you put in, you get 10 back, or for every dollar you put in, you get 2 back. You double your money. So that's an amazing business. But now what happens if you can use AI, and for every $5 lead you can get $100 back, because this AI is so amazing. It does such a good job at increasing the lifetime value of each lead. Now you can spend so much more on advertising, and all the Facebook ads and all the YouTube ads and all the Google ads. I mean, they're all auction based. So I mean, advertising, when this starts happening, is going to go through the roof. So
Yeah, and I read something that they're gonna link this Chat GPT with like Google type of platform, like a search engine platform, like Bing. I think, I don't know if you know what it is. So they're gonna link it up. So whoever ever types something on Google or on Bing about searching anything, ChatGPT will know the answer because somebody already searched it.
right,
How unbelievable is that? Like, that means that whoever has a question and wants an answer, they're not gonna use YouTube anymore. They're not gonna use Google anymore. They could use this platform, or they could use any other artificial intelligence out there and getting their actual real answer.